My name's Kirk Peters. I'm one of the deans here, and wow, this is my 38th year working at a college. So if you do the math, you know I'm not a young person. 38 years. Okay, we have a great presenter about to speak to you, and I met this gentleman last year, and I found him full of energy, engaging, and just a remarkable person. Before he speaks to you, I'd like to spend a minute or so to talk about him, to tell you what experiences he brings to us. Lorraine Barrett came to this country from Jamaica and now calls New York City home. He graduated in 1999 with a degree in chemical engineering from the University of Rochester. Folks, I'm down here, and I'm just going to pause for a second and ask everyone to quiet up just a little bit more. Thanks. This group is doing well. Thank you. Okay, as I was saying, he graduated in 1999 with a degree in chemical engineering from the University of Rochester. Lorraine, Rochester, home of, when I was in college, one of my favorite groups. Do you know who's from Rochester, or a popular group? Chuck Mangione was from Chuck Mangione, so you don't even know him. Anyway, he was one of my favorites in college. After getting his degree in chemical engineering, he went on to work at the Intel Corporation as an engineer. Now, the Intel Corporation, what do we know about Intel? We know that they make processors, but they do so much more. And I'd be interested to hear from Orain about if he feels that they're as diverse and inclusive as they say they are. That's one of the things. And let me tell you, one thing I do know is that they're a very wealthy company. In 2013, they had revenues that exceeded $59 billion. After working 4 years as an engineer, he went back to school. He graduated with a concentration in finance and in entrepreneurship from the MIT School of Management. After graduating, he worked as an investment banker at the USB, excuse me for being behind you, the USB Bank, USB Investment Bank, and then in 2011 as a project manager for the Credit Suisse Investment Bank. After those two stints, he followed his passion in entrepreneurship and is now the CEO of Cool Nerd Club. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Orain Barrett. Go around and try to quiet people.
Hello, how y'all doing? Hello, how y'all doing? Had fun today? All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Because it's hard talking when people are talking, that's number one. But number two is, I have an apparel line, and I'm gonna be giving away free products today. That's the first thing. My t-shirts run from $30, $60, and $100, all right? So that's one of the things that we're gonna do. So I wanna make sure that I have an engaged audience, all right? I like this level now. All right, my name's Orain Barrett. I'm a cool nerd. I always tell everybody that. And people always look and try to understand what the brand is about. So they asked me here to come and talk to you guys. The audience today, seniors, juniors, what is it mostly? Seniors? And y'all off to college, right? All right, cool. So here it is. Earlier it was announced of what I do. I always tell people my life is an open book. And there's a phrase that I always love to hear. If someone wrote a book about your life, would anybody want to read it? All right? And I want to really make sure you understand that if someone was to write a book about your life, would anyone want to read it? I know for me, yes, right? From basically coming to America as an immigrant, you know, adjusting to the American culture. I grew up in Jamaica, so I'm from Jamaica originally. To, you know, my travels around the world, living in Spain, living in Dublin, living in Amsterdam for a little while. And then also my career, which was mentioned, right? So I was an engineer at Intel. I was the youngest manager. At the age of 22, I had a staff of 45 people I was in charge of. And then I went afterwards to investment banking, working on $34 million deals, $127 million deal, $345 million deal, and we get a piece of each of those deals as well. All right, and then on top of that, the business schools that I went to, or the schools that I went to, University of Rochester and MIT. And I left all of that to start a clothing line that for every one of our products we sell, we hire a tutor. And it's called Cool Nerd. And everybody always asks me that, so we're gonna go through that whole story soon. All right, so to start off, I have to explain why we call it Cool Nerd, why we named the brand and the company that. All right. If I say nerds are popular, will y'all agree, yes or no? Yes? All right, absolutely. All right. When you really look at things and how we broke it down, right? Let's break the two. Cool people, there's no real definition of what's cool and how you define cool. But cool people don't conform. They make circles out of square, they follow their own voice, not defiant, but they don't conform to society's way of doing things. And it's that word conform that we held on to when we were trying to name the company and look at the word cool. Then on top of that, if you look at a nerd is a person that's just passionate about something. And passion is the driver of every nerd. Everybody heard of Pharrell? Yes? What's his passion? Music. Right? You hear Victor Cruz. I listened to a Victor Cruz. He had an interview, and in the 7-minute interview, he mentioned at least 5 times that he's a nerd. His passion is football. When you find something you're passionate about, you go after it. You spend hours doing it, and that's what we're saying. All of you in here have a hobby. All of you in here have something that you love. Your job is to figure out how you can make money from what you truly love, your passion. If you define passion, and when we looked it up, passion is an uncontrollable emotion towards something. It's something that you really love. All right, out of y'all young cats in here, who love gaming? Video games. Who could play video games for hours and hours and hours and hours? Hands high. The back. You like video games? You were playing? All right. Who likes sports? All right, so we got the athletes in here, right? And that's the thing, is that, your job is to figure out if you love something, how do you make money off of it? That when you're going in there, you're not working. We took those two words of cool and passion and put it together and said a cool nerd's a person that's pursuing their passion without conforming. They're creating things right now, and that's the beauty of this generation and how you guys are making it happen. You see startups all over. Right? The brand has been well received so far. We're growing. We spelled it with a K. People ask why is it spelled with a K, because as a nerd, it's not correct to misspell something, but like I said, cool people do what they want, so we wanted to flip it a different way. All right? Anyway, so they described earlier that I'm a graduate of the University of Rochester. That was a shocking experience coming in from Queens, going to Rochester overall, but I had a great time there. And after that, I went to MIT. I went to Intel after, and then I went to MIT for business school. But what I loved about my experience at MIT was being around classmates of mine. At least 14% of my classmates were starting their own business. And what I loved about those guys was that one just sold his for $171 million. Another one's company's worth $540 million right now. And I was looking at these cats that are doing this, and I'm like, they're no better than me. Why can't I do my own? So eventually, I started to do my own venture and go after. So we started a brand. I'm losing everybody. Hello? I can't hear upstairs. Hello? All right. So what I'm going to say is, overall, starting my own venture has not been easy. And the reason why I'm standing here in front of you guys today is that you have a future, and we're trying to inspire you to go after that future. I have a brand, and our tagline is called Built by Passion. That's our tagline. And when I started to really understand what a brand is, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Overall, I looked it up this morning, and it says a brand is a unique design, sign, symbol, word, or combination that makes a product or service more unique than its competition. A brand has something that makes it more unique than its competition. My message here today, and the reason why I'm standing here today with all of you, is that I want you to create yourself to be more unique than your competition. You're off to college right now. You're going to be competing with so many. You're going to be competing with people in this room. You're going to be competing with people on the campuses for the best jobs and the best opportunities. And I want you to try and create yourself as a brand. Overall, you see people doing it every day on social media, creating themselves as a brand. Some heard of Chance the Rapper? He created his own path. And I always miss this guy's name, but I will say it anyway. PewDiePie, heard of him? Created his own brand. I learned about this young lady, Michelle Fang, doing makeup and created her own brand. And I'm saying you're no different than them. Create your own brand. And I'm gonna give you the 3 tools in which we use to overall create our own brand. The first thing I would say to you is know your worth. Know that you're worth something. Then let nobody tell you that you're nothing. Because when I first started, people always told me, you can't do this, you can't build a business, you can't build a business. But we're growing. And that's what I'm gonna say. The first thing is always try and know your worth, right? As I was talking about that, I thought about the vision. The vision came to me of a caterpillar, right? And a caterpillar, what does a caterpillar do? All they do is just eat and consume, eat and consume, eat and consume. And that's all you guys do right now. You're not really adding value to society at the moment. You're just consuming and consuming and taking from everything around you. But guess what? What does a caterpillar eventually become? A butterfly. And I'm hoping that you guys will become that butterfly, that you add beauty to society. And that's what we're going to challenge you to do. The other part of it is to basically strive for excellence. That's one thing that we try and do. And the way how you strive for excellence is to go after your passion. I'm begging y'all. I can't even talk about it anymore, so here's what's going to happen. There was a study that looked at 1,500 graduate students and said, okay, you have your graduate degree. Are you going to take a job just for the money or because of something you're passionate about? Right? So they looked at them. Up, let's go, guys. Come on up, come on up. Okay, we'll take some pictures. Woo! Come here. Look at the hug. Thank you so much. But they're not. All right, here's it. I like talking family style, right? So I'm gonna look at y'all as family. Here it is. When I was really talking about passion, it's something that I believe in because I'm building up my brand off of it, all right? And what I'm saying to you is really just look at, I'm an MIT graduate, so we taught numbers. We taught statistics, all right? They looked at 1,500 graduate students and they said, we're gonna track you for the next 20 years. Are you going to take a job for the money, or are you going to take something because of what you're passionate about? All right. Out of that group of 1,500 graduate students, 245 said, we're going to take a job. No, it's 255, sorry. 255 said, we're going to take a job because what we're passionate about is what we truly love. And the remaining 1,245 said, no, it's about the money. I need to make this money now. Out of the 1,255 that said it's all about the money, I'm taking this job because of the pay, how many became a millionaire 20 years later? I'm going to ask the audience. Just give me a guess. 255, no. Out of 1,255, how many became a millionaire 20 years later? 1. That's exactly right. Out of 1,255, 1 became a millionaire later because most people make the same mistake over and over and over again. They go after a job just for the money. And then the 245 said, listen, I'm going after it because of what I love doing. How many of those became a millionaire 20 years later? 25, no. 5, no. 2, no. 16. Go higher, guys. Come on, man. No, 100. Well, really 99, but 1 was really close at the bottom. You were going to say it? Yeah, you should have said it. I would have given you a free T-shirt. All right? Honestly. Just look at that. And that's the thing that's really happening right now. Forbes even did a study. And then when I was a manager at Intel, we talked about this, right? 3 out of 10 employees literally love their job. Literally, right? The other 7 out of 10 is either doing it because of the money, they're forced to, or they just didn't know what career options were out there. And I'm saying that you guys don't have that disadvantage with this thing right here, because what is this called right now? No, not just a phone. It has a better name than that. What kind of phone is it? Huh? A cell phone, but they call it something else. Smartphone. It's so funny, it's called a smartphone, right? That's the funniest thing, but guess what? I go into classrooms and I talk to y'all all the time, and y'all spend 3 to 4 hours surfing, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. I call those dumb hours. It's the dumbest hours that y'all spend on this thing, just making somebody else rich, giggling, laughing, and joking, instead of saying, you know what? I love programming. I love video games. How can I make a career out of it? How do I set myself up? I love to read. How can I build a career out of it? Most of y'all don't use it for what it is. It's a smartphone. This is knowledge in your hand right now, but most of you guys don't use it for that. And I'm saying, I don't want to hear about, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, because everything is right here. Anytime somebody comes to me and say, I didn't know something, I'm like, yo, pull out your phone and look it up. Because it's knowledge in your hand. I'm challenging y'all. Go after something you love so you could be one out of those 3 individuals. 3 out of 10 Americans love their job. And you want to be one of those people where it's not work, but you're enjoying it fully. That's real to me. I'm loving what I'm doing right now. I was in investment banking, making $300,000 a year, roughly $150 an hour. And I wasn't happy. I was at work from 9 to 2 in the morning, 7 days a week. It was all about the money. But then eventually I went after something that I love. And it wasn't just a clothing line. We're inspiring cats right now. Every time we sell a shirt, we're sending college students to work with middle school kids. We're sending our first group to the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club came to me and said, listen, we love what you're doing. We want to partner with you. Now we're taking the whole mission to Harlem. And then after that, we're going to go Brooklyn, Flatbush. And then we're going to go a nationwide tour. And this is all me doing it off of something that I love. So I'm just trying to tell y'all, find your passion. Y'all are young enough that you can do it right now. And the last part about basically building your brand is set a finish line. Set a target that you can just go after. And go after it hard. Beast out as much as possible. And the one thing I'm going to say, as I'm going to close it up, and if anybody have questions, we can do this. Anybody heard of STEM? Anybody heard of STEM? What does it stand for? No, I want my man back there. Say it loud. And math. All right. We call it Steve. Because we put the A in there, but it's STEM, right? Why is it a nationwide initiative? Is because in 2022, the U.S. job force, 40% of the U.S. job force can't fit the demand. There's going to be a deficiency in people who are qualified in STEM. Right now, for every non-STEM job, there's 4 people going after it. I always tell people, be strategic. Why would you want to compete with 4 people, 1 or 3 individuals for a job? Versus if you apply yourself and apply your passion to STEM, or what I say we call it STEAM because we put the arts in there, for every 2 STEM jobs, there's 1 person qualified. The guys in my IT company used to laugh and joke around saying, oh my gosh, we're only unemployed for 10 days. There's such a demand for people in STEM right now. So if you know, let's say you're a creative person, that's why I say we call it STEAM. I met a guy who shoots videos for Nissan and these car companies. He loves the camera. And he has to be able to talk to the engineers about the new designs of the car, talk to the designers, talk to all the various people in the manufacturing line, and shoot some of the most amazing commercials that you see. And he's getting paid hundreds of thousands a year. An artist that's applying his creativity into the STEM world. So I'm saying if that's something that you guys can do, go and do it. My job is to build a brand built by passion. I'm a cool nerd, and I'm challenging y'all to find your passion and be future cool nerds. I'm done. And normally what I do is talk about my background and all that, but anyway. You're on?
That's normal.
Hi, Norma. How you doing? You know what? I'm gonna get you a shirt. All right?
What was your favorite part about going to MIT?
Oh, geez. My favorite part of going to MIT. All right, everybody look at, let me see how I can say it. And please, faculty here, forgive me. I talk real. When it comes to the top schools, the hardest part is getting in. After that, it's not that hard if you just apply yourself. I'm being real serious. The hardest part, we called it B school. I went to business school. We called it B school. You're gonna get a B, right? Just put your work in. I mean, there were a few people that were kind of struggling, but overall, it wasn't that hard though still. Just getting in is usually hard. Now, the question is, how do you become a brand that they're gonna want you and chase you? I had lunch with the dean of MIT, and he was telling me that here it is that we normally take students that are like 28 in their late 20s because they have more work experience. But now what I'm finding is that they're young students in their college dorm room that are creating some of the best companies. How do we turn our backs on them? So here is that the college is chasing these kids because they've created a brand for themselves. So they just got to get in, and that's it. That's all what it takes. Any other question? My man back there. What's the hardest part of your job? My job right now? All right. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. Anytime people ask me, how is it starting a job or do you recommend starting your own business? I tell them, don't do it. Because you got to believe in yourself. The biggest challenge is believing in yourself. I'm being real. Everybody thinks about the money. I raised the money and I burned through the money. And you start to find people who come after you. It's like, you ever seen The Lion King? And there's a part where there's and then all the animals perk their head up. It's so funny. When you raise money, that's what happens. And then these consultants and everybody come after you, and we can help you, and I can do social media, and I can do this, and I can do it. And you start paying, you start paying, you start paying. And then when the money runs out, guess what? They're gone. And that was when I had to sit down and figure out, can I do this on my own? And now I'm doing it on my own, and I got a dope team that's really believing in what we're doing by ourselves. Now I'm creating something. I have yet to chase investors. I haven't chased investors for a year and a half, and all these cats are coming after me now. But you got to believe in yourself, though, and it's not easy. Did my family support me 100%? My mother always loves me, so of course, yes, I got my mom's. But real talk though, I'm married. And I will honestly tell people that I learned the reality or the true person that I'm married to during this process. Without somebody that can morally support you, I honestly say you can't do it. And me and other entrepreneurs talking about it. Having somebody who believes in you and just give you that credit, because you're gonna go through the down periods. I had a guy wanted to invest $1.2 million in my company, and I sat there and I sat with him. We had lawyers. We were going to rent a space. We were going to do everything. And a week before signing the paper, he disappeared. And I told somebody, it's like I felt like I was on top of the Empire State Building overlooking New York, and I was like, I'm going to own all of this. And somebody came from behind. I was like, what? Sykes? No. I hit the ground hard. And for weeks I was out, but my wife, family encouraged me. It took me about 3 weeks to get out of the funk, but eventually I started to feel better. So yeah, you need that moral support. But they've been encouraging me since. Damn, another one. How was I into entrepreneurship? All right. Yeah, all right. Everybody who wants to start a business, I'm going to give you the biggest recommendation ever, the best recommendation ever. Go learn on somebody else's dime. As a manager at Intel, I learned how to work with employees and how to encourage them. In business schools, I learned business. In investment banking, I learned finance and money and networking. Learn under someone else's dime first before you go jump out there and take that knowledge and experience with you. So that's how I did it, by working for someone else. You see, most people don't want to humble themselves and say, okay, I'm going to be an employee. Everybody want to be a chief, no Indians, right? But that's the thing, is that you got to start somewhere and working under somebody else. I understand you're the beast, you're the best, you can do everything. Just humble yourself, learn under someone else, and then take that knowledge. I always say, listen, if somebody has an accounting firm, go work with them. And guess what? If you're that good, take their clients. It's just that simple. If you're that good, take their business. That's what one of my boys did. He worked at an education firm. He took 75% of that man's clients he took with him. He's that good. But he was humble to spend the time, watch them make all the money, and he was pissed off. And he said, you know what, now it's time. So he sent one of their guys out, he set up an office, and they slowly started just taking their business. Strategy. But everybody want to jump in, I'm my own boss, I'm my own man, and I can do my own thing. It's not usually that way. So that's how I took it, by learning from someone else. Any other question? Oh.
Losses and setbacks. How did you deal with losses and setbacks?
Losses and setbacks. That's a hard one. You know what? How do you deal with losses and setbacks? You know what? It comes in so many different phases. You have people who you work with that can disappoint you. Because I'm an A-type personality, so if I'm gonna get something done, if I'm gonna get something done, I get it done. So you gotta go, the biggest losses are usually the emotional ones. And you just need some time to either, damn, you asked me a hard one. You know what it is? The support network again. Having people that I could talk to, guide me, give me advice. Anytime I go through a funk, they pull me out of it. And one thing too as well, you're gonna learn. I guarantee all y'all know everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. And I used to take advice from all my friends. And all my friends used to give me advice. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. Oh, you should call LeBron James. He should wear it. You should get this person, that. Everybody has advice, but nobody's going to help you with it, right? But eventually, all I did now is I surround myself by entrepreneurs now who've been through it. Some who failed, some who are succeeding. And that's how I learn now. So those are the ones that kind of pull me along as well. But the setbacks is always to lean on these people they've been through it already. So I talk to them. One of my mentors know what it is to be a stay-home dad and at the same time have a business. So I talk to him a lot. These kind of people guide me and basically help me with the ups and downs and my emotional struggles. Any other? My man over there with the glasses, what's up? What role did failure play in my success? I hate failure. Hello, 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 hello. All right, we're talking about failure. How many here can say that they have truly failed? Real talk, raise your hands. Who have failed? Who have failed? Who have failed? Who have failed? And guess what? You're able to take all that failure and the knowledge from it to apply it and get better. The problem with failure is if you're working on somebody else's money, you can't fail that much. I'm being real. So there's a company called Seamless Web right now where you can go online and order food and et cetera, et cetera. One of my homeboys started this company called Menu Pages. He raised $1.7 million for it. And he said, let's say he was 40% of the way of getting things done, but guess what? He burned out $1.4 million. So he needed the remaining money, all through failure, but he needed the remaining to get him to the finish line, and he got creative. But he took the lessons from that period. So he's able to be successful, and then Seamless Web bought it. But you trust me, failure is a part of it. You just gotta be careful when you try to raise someone else's money and basically fail at the same time. You don't want to do that. Any other? Man, you coming with them loaded. What's up? When did I notice I want to be an entrepreneur? All right. When did I notice I want to be an entrepreneur? Here it is. I never knew what an entrepreneur was. I want to be real. Right? When I went to business school, all I knew was corner store owners, the dude who owned the laundromat, this person who have a hairdresser. So I knew small business owner, but I never knew the term entrepreneur. And then my classmates who came to MIT, they had sold their company, had done this, they had sold their company, did that. But when I looked at them, I'm like, yo, you're no different than me. I really mean that. You're not smarter than me. You're not cooler than me. It's not that different. But they knew how to position themselves. So I started just talking to them, learning from them. They gave me advice. One of my classmates, Anil Darni, I loved it. He sold his gaming company for $171 million. And I loved it. And the guy loved video games. He got 4 dope video games on Facebook right now that's blowing up. And he sold a company. Now he's chilling. Now he's building another video game company. But I was able to talk to him and say, what were the steps needed, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people always think it's money, and it's not the money. Investors, listen, when we were in business school, they said that we don't invest in an idea, we invest in people. Anybody heard of Dropbox? Dropbox, right? Everybody heard of Dropbox. When they went to the VC firm with the idea before Dropbox, the guy said, listen, this idea you have is garbage, but I like you to come back with something better. And they came back to him with Dropbox. So people invest in people, and that's the main important thing. So I'm trying to position myself that people are going to invest in me and not our idea and our concept. Any other? And on this, one more. What's up, man? Could I see myself doing anything else? Wow. Now that the chains have been cut off and I'm kind of free to just do my own thing, put it like this. When I was in investment bank and I was working, like I said, we're in the office at 9. I don't leave until 2 a.m. in the morning. And that's 7 days a week. All right? But now I'm able to apply that time to something that I love. this is me working, and I'm smiling, I'm having fun, versus behind a desk running numbers all day. They gave us about $600. We had about $600 to $1,200 we could spend taking clients out. Going to this concert with a client, you would think, oh my gosh, you're at the Jay-Z concert. But guess what? I don't want to be beside this guy. It's work. So I was doing it when I was enjoying. Now I'm able to go out and I'm having more fun because I'm doing my own thing. So going back to it, that's honestly my biggest fear. That's what makes work so hard, honestly. Do I ever want to stop and give up completely? Did I ever? Every day. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I'm like, geez, I got to start again. But you know what? When I look around and I see my family and those who rely on me, I keep going. It's just a belief. But yeah, no, you start to have it. There are periods where you're like, when I told you, when that guy literally disappeared from me from the 1.2 mil, I honestly was going to quit. I was going to quit. It was my 9-year-old son that kind of sparked me. He said something and did something that sparked it. All right, anyone else? Wait. Straight across. Question for you.
It's fun. I learn a lot. We say what?
How do you enjoy working with me?
It's fun. I learned a lot. I also want to be an entrepreneur, so like being his intern, he teaches me a lot.
Basically, what he's saying that he's learned on my dime to eventually go take my clients. He's gonna exactly right. That's what he's doing right now. It's cool though, but he's helping in so many different ways. So I enjoy it, and I need young cats. Honestly, I'm that old dude, and my team is built with college students. My entire team is built with college. As a matter of fact, I'm taking 2 high school interns, and I have 3 college students working with me. And the purpose is that the brand and the face of the brand is Cool Nerd, and we're saying college students are those because they're actually paying money, time, and energy to go after their passion. So how can we not create a line around them with products that they wear and the products that they can speak on and a company that they can say, I'm a hardworking person, I'm a passionate person. I love when I meet a college student and they say, listen, I'm working 3 jobs and going to school and my GPA is a 3.8. Those are the people that we're going to feature. So that's what my brand is built around college students. Any other question? All right, like I said, I want to close out by just saying these last few things, right? Oh, my summary page. All right, what I'll say is definitely, I'm building my brand and I want you to build yours. I want you to build yourself as a brand. Challenge yourself to become a brand. Become more unique than your competition. I'm begging you. Find your passion, know your worth, strive for excellence, and set a line that you can go after, that finish line. Like I said, I'm building a brand, and I want you guys to build your brand of passion and become future Cool Nerds.